Hey there and happy Tuesday. Welcome to the first messaging mini class of August. Can you believe it? We are dedicating the entire month to Facebook Live. Over the last couple months, I've been doing theme months where we tackle a different topic, marketing technique, and dive a little bit deeper than I could cover in a regular messaging mini class and break it up across the whole month so we can go deeper. And we're starting with Facebook Lives for this month. And today, the focus will be on all the things to do before you hit the go live button. Now, if you don't know me or don't know me well, my name is Carrie Price. I'm a brand messaging coach, helping ambitious service-based business owners find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar. And one of the best ways to make your message roar, to actually get it heard and to build that know, like, and trust with your ideal clients is through Facebook Live. I have been going live every single week for more than a year and a half. So I've learned a thing or two, and I want to share some of my best tips, answer questions that I get all the time about my own Facebook Lives, and share that with you so that you can get more comfortable and more confident with using Facebook Live in your business. If you're joining me live, please say hello in the comments below. And if you're watching the replay, let me know that too so that I can come back and thank you properly. Awesome. Helen, so good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Cheryl, Dawn, so great to have you here with me this morning. If you have questions as we go, drop those in. Now, a lot of people, when they first start thinking about Facebook Lives, they immediately just jump into the going live part. But I want to make sure that you're really comfortable when you click the go live button. And so I want to talk about all the things I do before going live so that my lives are the most impactful that I can make them, right? Hey, Catherine, so great to see you. Thank you for joining me. So today I'm going to talk about why Facebook Live is a great way to get your message heard. Things to talk about on your Facebook Lives that will elevate your expert status, how to prepare for your Facebook Live so that you're more comfortable and confident when it's time to actually go live, and why and how to promote your Facebook Lives in advance. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff to think about before going live, but I'm going to break it all down for you. Sarah, hey, I'm so glad you made it live too. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So let's start by talking about why Facebook Live. Before I do that, if you're joining me live, even if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments below. Do you currently use Facebook Live as a marketing strategy or part of your marketing strategy? Let me know in the comments below so I know sort of where people are. If you've never done it, if you sort of do it, like sometimes if it's a regular part of your marketing mix, let me know in the comments below. Now, if you're not yet using Facebook Live, there's probably a few different reasons. You're not sure maybe about the logistics, you're uncomfortable being on video, you're not sure what to talk about. That's a bigger problem, sort of beyond Facebook Live. That's a bigger messaging problem. We're going to talk about that a little bit today, though. So if you're not yet doing Facebook Lives, let me know in the comments below, too. All right. Sarah says, I use it, but I want to make it more consistent. Awesome, Sarah. So you don't use it regularly yet. You use it sometimes, but not on a regular schedule. Cheryl says, ooh, Cheryl, perfect timing. Cheryl says, I don't, but I'd like to start next month. Awesome, Cheryl. I hope that this month's series then is really helpful for you so that you can feel prepared and ready to start next month and kick it out of the park. Helen says, I'm not currently using Facebook Live, but I have in the past. I stopped while I focused on getting other things done. Totally understand that, Helen. There's always so many things, right, in business where we have to focus time, effort, and energy. And so we'll talk a little bit, or we can talk a little bit about scheduling and frequency. I talked about that actually last month. We focused on content creation and content strategy, and I talked a little bit about being reliable, whatever that frequency is. It's not about showing up every single day, but whatever it is, make sure you're reliable and consistent in doing that. So, however you want to leverage that will be great. Dawn says, yes, completed episode 1 of Stress Free Bookkeeping TV last week, committed to weekly broadcasting. Dawn, that is awesome. I'm so excited to see you leveraging Facebook Live to get your message out there. And I love that you're committing to weekly broadcasting. That's fantastic. Hi, Lydiana. So great to see you. Lydiana says, not yet and would love to. Awesome. Lydiana, I hope that this month's series will help you get more comfortable. If you have any specific questions around Facebook Live, make sure that you drop those in the comments for me. And if I don't answer them today, because I've already got that queued up for a future topic, I'll make sure to incorporate and get you those answers. Hey, Christine, so great to see you. Thank you for being here. Okay. Thank you guys for sharing with me that you've tried it or are doing it or want to do it. I think what that goes to show is Facebook Live's here to stay, at least for now, right? Like everything changes. Social media, online marketing changes very quickly. But Facebook Live, I really believe, is here to stay for this foreseeable future. Why should we look at doing Facebook Live? Because it's such a great way to share your message. You guys know that's what I'm all about. I want your message to roar. I want it to be heard. I want it to be relatable to your ideal client. One of a kind, so you don't sound like anybody else. Actionable. Facebook Live is a great way to put your message into action, and it allows you to be reliable, showing up very consistently for people to come and hear your message. It allows you to be a thought leader in your space and to be seen as an expert. It is not only, like, of all the different ways to share your message, it's not only a great way to get the words out, but also your brand personality, right? People make a faster connection with you when they see you on video versus reading your content. We do a lot of written content that you will never get away from doing that. But there's kind of nothing like people being able to see you on video. And the live component, getting this interaction, building community, creating conversation and relationship, live video is such a great way to do that. Even more so than pre-recorded video. I mean, in pre-recorded video, they're going to see your personality too, but being able to jump on with somebody, interact with them, ask your questions, get them answered in real time. Facebook Live is such a great way to build that know, like, and trust even faster. So if you're not yet doing it, I encourage you to think about it. And if you're uncomfortable doing it, let me know what it is that's maybe uncomfortable for you so that I can help you through that. Because I'll share with you, 2 years ago, I was the person that said, nope, not doing video. Never gonna do it. When I worked corporate jobs and they wanted to do like video meetings and stuff, I was like, nope, I work from home, so I don't have to do hair and makeup. I am not getting on video with anybody. I was really anti-video. Now, all my coaching calls are video calls. Like people wanting to get to know more about me are all video calls. It allows us to be in the room with people and have a conversation. And Facebook Live allows us to communicate our marketing message in a way that does that. So I want to support you and encourage you to get comfortable doing it. And it doesn't have to be a big production. Okay. All month long, I'm going to break down for you like the simple things, the way to get started. And I'll be doing more in-depth behind the scenes videos inside my free group, The Messaging Den, where I will lift open the covers and show you some of the more technical things, things I'm doing now, showing you tools and equipment I'm using, all of that. Okay, so if you want to know that, I'll be doing that inside The Messaging Den. If you're not already a member, jump into that. It's at themessagingden.com or just search for The Messaging Den right here on Facebook. So we'll go even deeper, but I don't want this to feel overwhelming. Remember, I've been going live every week for more than a year and a half. If you go back and look at some of my videos from a year and a half ago, they look very different than they do today. And it's very easy to get started. So we're going to break that down. I'll share with you like good first steps, and I'll share with you some advanced tips if you're ready for that too. All right. Okay. So as you're thinking about doing Facebook Lives, one of the things you're probably asking yourself is, what do I even talk about, right? Last month, all of my messaging mini classes right here on my page were all about content creation, content strategy, how to think about your content, where to get an unlimited, never ending source of content ideas. So you can go back and review any of those for more specific tips. But let me just highlight for you a few things that I like to talk about on my Facebook Lives. Generally speaking, any piece of content that you are wanting to put out there, any topic you want to talk about that you would send to your email list or put out on social media is also a candidate for Facebook Live, right? Why talk about different things? You want to be putting out a consistent, reliable message that sets you up as the expert that you are and positions you in people's minds. So you're talking about similar things across all your marketing channels, okay? Facebook Live is just one of them. Dawn says, I'm comfortable at the time, but I start to doubt myself once I see myself on the replay. This happens when I'm editing the cover photo. Oh, Dawn, trust me, I used to overanalyze all my videos on the replay. In fact, that's why the very first time before I ever did a video, I was sharing with you guys like 2 years ago, I was totally anti-video. I just wanted to put out like this 2-minute video. Literally took me 2 hours of recording, watching the replay, hating it, starting over, recording, watching the replay, hating it, like for 2 hours for a 2-minute video. Now I sort of let all that go. And in fact, I find Facebook Lives are so much easier than pre-recorded videos because I've let go of the perfectionism. I'm going to talk today about how to really get ready so you can be comfortable on video and then let it go. Okay. And we'll talk about more next week when I talk about being on, like while you're going live, some things to think about. But this is the great thing about the fact that it's live video. Just like if you were having a conversation with someone in person, you're not 100% perfect. You pause and think. In this case, I'm going to pause and look at notes, and that's okay. With pre-recorded video, I feel an added pressure for it to be more perfect. And so I spend so much time in editing and multiple retakes. And with Facebook Live, it's like you got one shot, get it done, and it is what it is, right? Yeah, Dawn says, I feel ya. Okay, so it's okay. And the comfort comes from practice. By the way, it really does. I know that a lot of people talk about that. You just have to practice it. Honestly, I could jump on and do a Facebook Live like at the drop of a hat anytime. And oftentimes that's my preferred way of jumping on to communicate information. That was not always the case. But 1.5 years of going live every single week makes that a no-brainer now. So it does get easier, I promise. Yeah, Sarah says, yeah, practice, practice, practice. Yes, and let's be clear, practice does not make perfect. Practice just lets you get it out there, right? It gets you more comfortable. There's no such thing as perfect. So I definitely don't want to encourage you to think that like practice makes perfect. There's no such thing. All right, let me get back to my notes and keep us on track. I have so much good stuff to share with you today that I don't want to miss anything. Okay, so what do you talk about? So in addition to all the stuff we already talked about last month on content creation and content planning and strategy, your goal with your Facebook Lives is to establish your expertise, right? So here's some things to talk about. And I talk about this a lot just in your message in general. It's about owning your one-of-a-kind point of view and how you talk about what you do so that you don't sound like anybody else, right? So how about dispelling some myths? So you probably see a lot of people talk about things related to your industry, and there's bad advice or there's bad or incorrect, from your point of view, incorrect information. People have myths or beliefs about what you do that you want to dispel and let's change people's perception, right? Open them up to thinking about things a different way. For example, I talk a lot about your ideal client avatar not being enough. Everybody talks about the ideal client avatar. Do you have an ideal client avatar? Do you know where they live? Do you know where they shop? Do you know what websites they shop at? And that's important, but it's not enough. And I talk a lot about that because it's a myth in the business space, the online space, especially in consulting and coaching, that what you need is your ideal client avatar. Okay, so I'm often talking about the fact that that's not enough and dispelling that myth. You want to make sure you're consistently sharing your one-of-a-kind point of view. How do you perceive what you do, your industry, why it's important, what your ideal client needs to know about that? You want to be putting out your one-of-a-kind message. So it was actually interesting. I was on a coaching call with a client last week, and she was talking about being nervous about doing Facebook Lives on her page because other people in her industry follow her and then copy her message, right? Like take what she's saying and share it as their own content. And she's been burned by that. And I totally understand that we want to be protective of that. But this is why it's so important to make sure that you develop a one-of-a-kind message, that the way that you talk about it is trademarkable, and so you can legally protect it if you want to, but it's so that it becomes very clear that that's your message and what you talk about. And when someone else wants to talk about it, when they're using your language, if you're consistent and reliable in putting your content out there, people will know that's yours, and they will know that oh yeah, Carrie talks about it that way too. You want to make sure that your message is associated with the content that you're putting out there. So make sure that you're sharing your one-of-a-kind point of view. That's what's going to make you unique. That's what's going to position you separate from everybody else's Facebook Lives, right? And it's always great to share case studies or client testimonials. And that doesn't have to be like a super formal case study write-up or even a full client testimonial video, although you can share bits of that. But why not just talk about and share experiences that you're having with your clients as you're working with them? I hardly ever call clients out by name, but I will often share conversations that we've had or a struggle that they're having that I know you might be having too. And so by talking about that and talking about what we worked through, or giving, as I shared, maybe a new perspective with my client, and I can give you insight into that too, or I talk about how that changed her business or his business when they made a shift in their message, that's helping to establish credibility, right? Because it's showing results. So these are all kinds of things that you can talk about on Facebook Live. And again, just about anything that you would put out in your marketing content, you could also talk about as a Facebook Live. So you should have a never-ending supply of ideas for going live. Now, just a reminder, I talked about this last month. This does not mean you have to go live every day. Don't overcommit, right? It's more important to be reliable and consistent with going live once a week or once every other week than it is to think like, oh, I'm going to go live every day and then not be able to sustain it. And then you go away and people think you've stopped doing it, right? Okay. So now you've got some topics. Now you know what to talk about. It's time to get prepared for doing your Facebook Live. The very first thing I do when I'm planning out a Facebook Live topic is I make notes. And you guys know, I refer to my notes. They're right here on the screen. Some people put them on like sticky notes and put them like near the camera or around the camera. You guys, I just put it right on. I type up a document and it's always in bullet points with the high level things that I want to talk about. Here's the thing, you don't need to script it because you should be talking about stuff that's within your wheelhouse. It's in your area of expertise, right? So you just want to give yourself bullet points to remember all the things that you want to cover so you don't forget anything. But it should not be scripted. You are not reading. One, it helps me organize my thoughts. Like as I was pulling together the notes for this Facebook Live, I also then had notes for next week's and the week after. So I create myself a document for all of my Facebook Lives for the month, especially when I'm doing a theme month like this, so that I'm dropping them in where it makes the most sense. And as I do that, it's just fleshing out ideas. Again, not scripted. And I probably am not even talking about the things today like I thought I was going to, because a lot of that's just going to be free flowing as you kind of get into the topic. Again, this is your area of expertise, so it shouldn't be that hard. But make sure you give yourself some notes. It gives you a little bit of comfort, right? I don't have to worry about remembering all the things and holding that in my head. That lets me engage with comments and interact with people who are joining me live, and then make sure I can get back on topic and finish everything I wanted to talk about to make this as impactful and action-packed as I can, right? So don't be afraid to make notes. And I encourage you to make yourself a regular checklist that you follow, whatever your process is with Facebook Live. And I think I might give a peek of that in my Facebook group in the behind the scenes this week. I have a checklist. It probably has 30 things on it for what I do every single week for my Facebook Lives, from having my graphic designer prepping images to writing my notes, scheduling the Facebook Live, promoting it. Where do I promote it? All the things I need to update so I don't have to think about that. Every week I go down the list. I'm like, yep, did that. Check, next, check, 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 check. I like to follow checklists. So I have a whole checklist that I follow for before, during, and after my Facebook Live. So let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in having. I'm putting together a cheat sheet of all my best tips from this month. Let me know if something like that would be helpful for me to add to the cheat sheet as what my checklist looks like. Okay, so create yourself a checklist, a process. Don't reinvent the wheel every week. All right. So now that you're prepared and you've got your notes together, you know what it is you want to talk about. Okay, Helen, you're saying yes, please, you'd like that. Okay, awesome. I will add that to the cheat sheet that I'm working on to compile everything together. And maybe I'll jump in the Facebook group later this week and give you guys a sneak peek of that too. So now you know the topic you're going to talk about. You're all prepared. It's time to promote. Now, this is where some people do this more than others, but for people who don't promote at all, you're missing such an opportunity. Even if people are not able to join you live, it's a way for you to communicate with your market. One of my clients says to me, oh my gosh, Carrie, like you are so consistent in emailing and showing up live, and like you have all this great content. How do you do it all? You guys, I'm emailing people on my list that want to know what my topics are for my Facebook Lives every week. And I have a chat bot that you can sign up for to get the topic directly in Messenger with a link to the live every week. If you want that, you can go to carrieprice.com/notify me. I post on social media. So what I do as I'm outlining my topic of what I want to talk about, I write myself a couple sentence blurb of what I'm going to talk about. And I use that everywhere I'm promoting it. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, email, chatbot, anywhere that you regularly show up, let people know you're going to go live. This also goes to that reliability. If they see every week, even if they're not joining you live every week, even if they want to watch the replay, they're seeing that you're putting out this consistent content at that regular interval, right? In my case, it's weekly. But it also really gives people a chance to join you live, right? So they might miss a couple, they'll come back and watch the replay, but they'll be like, wait, I want to be part of that conversation. I've got questions about this next topic. And it's doing it live that makes it more fun, I think, for a lot of people. I know I love when I'm able to catch some of my favorite people live and interact with them via the comments. So give people the chance to do that. I should note, I'm able to promote directly to this live video, not just to my page, because I actually pre-schedule the video. Now, you do need a third-party tool to do that. Here's the weird thing about Facebook. Facebook will allow you to like start a post, go live, and then hit the schedule instead of like go live now. Like you can schedule it live in Facebook, but then it doesn't let you actually go live on that post. Very weird. I think that allows you to do that. So you need to use a third-party tool to do that. I use Ecamm Live. That's for Mac only. So if you're on a PC, you'll need to use a service like BeLive TV or OBS. There's others. But the cool thing is when you schedule a live in advance, then you might have seen it. You might have seen it for this video. It'll tell you Carrie's scheduled to go live this day and time. It puts it in your time zone, and you can click to get a reminder so that you get a notification. And I can share the link directly to the live in advance. So otherwise people, like I couldn't promote it and say, come find me right here. I'd just be able to give them a link to my page, and then I have to come to the page and then like scroll to find the live. So scheduling it actually on Facebook in advance allows me to promote it directly in advance. And so I love doing that. People, even if they don't want to join me live, they're able to catch the replay, and I'm able to give them a link directly to it so they can find it. They don't have to go hunt for it. Okay. So all those different ways that you can promote it. Then you get to sit back and just get ready for go live day, right? Whenever that time comes, you're going to have your notes. People will know about it and be looking to join you. Maybe they're clicking that get reminder so that they know exactly when you go live. Oh, I also schedule events. On my business page here, I have a recurring event every Tuesday that I do a messaging mini class. And then inside my Facebook group, the Messaging Den, I schedule an event for every week with the topic that we're going to talk about. So I'm promoting it to my group, which is more, currently there's just over 700 people in my group. They get the event and invited to that every week. And it makes it really easy for them to go find past Facebook Live. So when I know someone has a question on a specific topic, I can point them right to it, or they can go find all my past topics and easily locate that. So make sure you're making it clear everywhere. Let people know what you're talking about, when you're talking about it, where you're talking about it. And then get ready to enjoy going live, hitting that button, which is what I'm going to go into in more detail next week. So make sure that you join me back here at 11 a.m. Eastern next Tuesday. And I'm going to break down everything from how to start your Facebook Lives, how to maybe structure some of the content of your lives, how to engage while on your live without feeling like you have to engage right away. Like I'll give you some of my tips for how I engage with comments and how to wrap up your Facebook Live. So everything from start to end, we're going to talk about next week. And again, if you have any questions about Facebook Live, go ahead and drop those in the comments, and I will either come back and answer them for you here in the comments or queue them up for one of the topics coming up. Okay. There's also a pinned post inside the Messaging Den where you can come in and drop your questions at any time as well. And so again, there we go. It's themessagingden.com, or search for the Messaging Den right here on Facebook, where I'm also going to be going live later this week behind the scenes. I'm going to show you, for people who are interested, how to use Ecamm Live, since that's the tool that I use. I get asked about it all the time. It allows me to show your comments on screen. It allows me to pre-schedule. So I'm going to show you, we're going to do a behind the scenes video probably on Thursday. So if you're interested in that, pop over in the group and let me know what questions you have about that. I have used BeLive TV, although it's been a really long time. So I don't know. I don't know. It's changed so much, to be honest. So I don't know if I'll be able to answer a ton of questions about that, but the concepts will be the same no matter what third-party tool you use to go live. Okay. All right, that's it for today. If you have any other questions, drop those in the comments below. I hope this was helpful in thinking about being ready and all the things to do before going live. And I will see you back here next week for what to do while going live. In the meantime, don't settle for sounding like anybody else. Make sure you stand out, you get heard, make your message roar. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.